time for a conversation on parenting this morning on Wake Up Nigeria. For that, we've got Osezusi Bolodeoku, and she is the founder and CEO of FOS Abba Center and Creative Hub, an inclusive creative center that helps to nurture creativity, social skills, emotional intelligence, and other practical skills that all children need to succeed and thrive in the world. Furthermore, the center provides supports for children and families with special education needs, including autism, ADHD, dyspraxia, and other neurodiverse needs. Today, we will talk about the AAA strategy. So good to have you in the studio with us today. How are you doing?
Very well. So good to be here again.
Awesome. So the AAA strategy. Tell us about that.
Is something interesting like AAA, right? It is awareness, acceptance, and accommodation. That's what it means. And when we talk about special needs is there's a broad range, and each range has their spectrum. So it's really broad, right? You could see a child with Down syndrome and others say, oh, the child has autism, or they label it something else. So when we are aware, you know, when you know something, it's easier to accept it, right?
Yeah.
There's an acceptance that comes to that, right? And when you accept, then you create like accommodations for everyone, because this world is for all of us, right?
At the end of the day, you're right. It is for all of us. So when you say you accept, is it accepting the behavior of the child, or accepting what the child has been made out to be, which you have no control over?
Oh, that's awesome that you asked that. So it's accepting that there's something called neurodiversity, right? Neurodiversity means that we're different. We all have different thinking patterns. However, there are maladaptive behaviors that we should be concerned about. And those are the behaviors that we want to kind of redirect, because I really do not think we change behaviors, we replace them. And you first really need to know why the child is behaving the way they're behaving. Yes, and you're looking at the function of the behavior, because the behavior is communicating something, right? And say, for example, practical example now, a child that would always come to pull you, irrespective of what you're doing, you're cooking, you're having a conversation on the phone, and the child just comes, pulls you, the child is trying to get your attention, right? But there are other ways to get your attention. So you know that this child is trying to get your attention. So instead of waiting for the child to pull, why not teach the child to perhaps tap you gently or say, excuse me, right? So you teach and you model behaviors, right? But you really do need to know the function.
Okay, so I'm going to have us touch on at least two, or maybe just two because of time.
Okay.
Let's talk about the behavioral patterns of autism, especially for parents that don't quite know how to identify it yet.
Okay.
Yes, let's touch on that. So what kind of behaviors should make you ask yourself questions? Could it be this? Could it be that? Even before you seek medical help.
Good. Oftentimes, what we have is we wait, or is when the child, the toddler, is not responding or communicating, like vocalizing with speech, right? That's when we get, oh, this child is not talking. However, there are a lot of behaviors to be watchful for, like when a child of 4 months just cries excessively, just keeps crying, you know that, oh, what is wrong with this child? This child is perfectly fine. It's something you want to just pay attention to. And when they have like what we call automatic behaviors, automatic reinforcers, simply meaning that you do not need a third party to carry out that behavior. Like, I could bite my nails. I do not need you to help me.
To bite my nails.
You know? So those are automatic behaviors, right? And when they have those behaviors, right? Flapping of hands, doing something repeatedly, structured, like lining things toys down in a particular way. They
Okay.
do not play with toys appropriately.
An appropriate place.
Absolutely, they're appropriate play for a
Toddler, for
for a
example.
toddler
Yeah.
is they always want to show you something. It's like I do something, you do something back to me. You smile, I smile, you smile back, or the good peekaboo,
Yeah.
peekaboo. So they respond, the smile, but the child is aloof. The child does not know what you're talking about. So you have to, and the child likes to be by themselves. Humans, we are quite
Social beings.
yeah, we're very social beings, so we really do not like to be, especially babies, they do not like to be by themselves. So when the child likes to be by themselves,
Then you need to worry. Okay, now let's talk about ADHD. How do you identify the behavior?
okay, the thing with ADHD is the behaviors. They are behaviors you find in with everybody, with every child that age. However, you're not looking at the behavior that is affecting perhaps their learning, perhaps their sleeping, or is this behavior so excessive that it affects them? Basic skills, adaptive skills, and all that. So, and it's not, it's really about not pointing at those behaviors at a very early stage, 6 years, you work on those behaviors, right? But when the child still keeps behaving that way,
Even past 6 years?
at 6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
then you go for a formal diagnosis, right? And all that.
Okay.
But those
Children will always
behaviors,
be
those
children.
behaviors are really impulsive behaviors.
I have a lot of
Impulsive,
questions for you.
impulsive behaviors. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was going to ask
And
you.
your impulsivity may not even be outward, may just be the brain activity. Like your brain just keeps going and going and going.
Wow. Okay. So look out for these behaviors in your child. You never can tell what you might discover. Sometimes it's normal, sometimes it's not. Basically, that's what this is about. Thank you so much for your time, Osezusi. Thank you indeed.
Welcome. I'm so
And
glad to be
of course,
here.
at this point, we'll take a break. You're watching Wake Up Nigeria. Just stay with us.